Hello and welcome back to Jumble Lane. Just a bit of a quick update. As you can see, a bit of ballasting's been going on, and I've built a kit from Scale Model Scenery, and I'm going to repeat that process along there, and also behind there I'm going to put along an old warehouse, another kit from Scale Model Scenery. I have been ballasting, as you can see, but I think a bit overzealous there, so those points came out and were cleaned up almost like brand new, and they now work. So all I've got to do is reballast that, but I think I should be using a fine ballast and some way of gluing it a bit neater. I have changed the way the points operate from the motors below. I've come in on the side, and I shall use a bit of clump foliage to cover those holes. They seem to work better than the way I did it with the wires underneath. At the building, what I'm going to do there, I'm going to take away a bit of the ballast, enough room for the width of a pathway, and then put a fence up, limited to how much room there is. Got to be able to get a train down there, so I've measured it, and I'll get a very narrow path at the back just to make it look right, and a fence, security fence of sorts. In the yard by the turntable, I've decided I will copy somebody else, and this is Tony Northeastern. Quite impressed with his diesel yard, and so I'm basically doing very much the same. I've done a test piece of a plastic card with a bit of paint on it and a bit of wash, and it looks okay. I've just got to space this plastic card off the baseboard to make it level with the track, but those pieces have been cut in readiness to fitting down. I have got a diesel service pump which will go in between the second and the third line, roughly where the join in the plastic card is. What I'd like to do is get enough space to get my wires underneath to put some lighting at the diesel pump, as well as lighting in the general area. And as you can see, there is underneath there is a set of drawers, and that set of drawers obviously means I can't come through the board at that position, so I have to come through at an angle or bring the wires underneath the plastic card in some way. A bit like I've done with the lighting cables for the station here, and that's not yet fixed. I'm waiting until all this back area is done before that's fixed firmly, because I might have to lean over, so I shall remove that to do that. So all in all, I was quite impressed with Tony Northeastern's diesel yard. So I don't like to copy people, I like to use my own initiative and go my own way, but to be quite honest, it was a really nice job, well thought out, and basically ticked all the boxes. What I'm going to do around this raised edge is I'm going to put a wall with a security fence above it, so it's like a brick wall edging, and then behind the edge of the brick wall will be the chain link security fence with the cranked arms at the top of the posts with a barbed wire from Scale Model Scenery. And that's going to go around the edges, and then what I shall do on this end for buffers, I'm hoping to build a very deep thick wall with the buffers sticking out, more like they do at the stations on the platforms, and that way I shall get more space on the track rather than fitting the old buffers which take up a couple of inches, well, inch and a half or so. So hopefully then I should be able to get it all the way back almost to where the plastic card finishes, and that'll give me at least an inch, inch and a quarter of space in case I've got anything that wants to be in there and out of the way. When I am doing these little jobs, ballasting and laying track, what I like to do is keep running trains on them just to make sure they're working, and try all my different locos to make sure they don't trip up, especially the ones that's going to be used. At the back there I've got a 3-car DMU. It's an old one, but I bought it fairly cheap from a shop, and it runs quite well. It's got an old Ringfield motor in it, so when you do start it up from cold it is sort of a bit jerky and noisy, but after it's been running for 2 or 3 minutes it's smooth and it's quiet, so I'm quite happy with that. And that will be parked in either that track where it is now or the one in front where the 3 locos are. I've got the 37 on the left, the Deltic on the right, and in the middle is an old Lima I've had for absolutely years, which I've converted to DCC, and I've started throwing a bit of paint on, rough as it is, because I want to sort of weather it down and make it look old and drab and falling apart, and have it more of a static train rather than in use, but I can bring it into use, possibly to drag my track cleaner around so it doesn't affect any of the other locos. So what we'll do is we'll just run the DMU through the points and just making sure that everything works okay.